live on the, you can see this little thing there, StreamYard. Doing that rather than doing it through YouTube directly, because it's easier. And hi, Aussie Gun Bunny and Fox of Fate. Nice to see you. Got my soursop nectar. It's a tasty beverage. Well, soursop and lemonade. So, there's always the saying that people, I don't drink wine at all. But this is the saying that people decide what wine to get based on what the label looks like. And I'm completely down with that. I've got this soursop nectar just because it looked interesting. And hello, Miss Foxification and Nook and Caleb. I see you here very often, mate. And CrossFitter, hello. Caleb, just trying StreamYard for the very first time for a proper live stream. Because I need to be able to invite people into live streams, and YouTube through their native stuff just made that super fucking difficult. And it's really easy through StreamYard. So assuming all goes well, I might be living in StreamYard for a while. And hi, Lemonhead, how's it going? I do banners. Ooh, wow. This is an example of a banner. This is an example of a banner. Click on a banner to show it on screen. Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. So I can. Oh, and using a banner to summarize your talking points. This is like that's like they're trying to make it like the news, like creating a banner. Like I do a little banner. And did that work? Yes. Okay. See, I can be like the news. I can have breaking news happening in there. Sorry, this is probably going to take a while for the novelty of these things to wear off. But yeah, yes, that's it, Nick. Welcome to the Angry News at 10. Now, host Angry Ozzy. Yep, that's me. So yeah, no, I'm only doing a live stream now, which is not my normal time, because I'm trying out this new streaming platform that seems to make it super duper easy to invite people in. So Aussie Gun Bunny helped me earlier today when I was doing a stream thing. I'm just looking at things I can do. I can change brand colors. Okay. I think I'm more blue. Yeah, I think I'm more blue. Blue suits me. Uh, um, and oh, customize your logo. See what you get by. Did I go away then? That was weird. Why would they do that to me? Well, that was a learning experience. That was a learning experience right there. Don't do that. Do not do that because it makes it go away. I've got to stop saying I didn't realize how much I do the thing until I watched back some of the shared live streams and such like that I made to be podcasts with people listening, and I was just converting them to audio. So I've got 6 or 7 of them now, and I was just turning them into audio files and then listening to a bit to make sure that it was all hunky-dory, and lo and behold, I say and far too much. And even that last couple sentences there, when I was being super, super, super conscious of it, thinking, don't do any ums or ahs, it felt like a physical impediment to me. That's what it was. It was something that was really holding me. Like I have to make a physical effort to not do it. It's really weird. Oh, no, I wish it was because I was related to Jeff Goldblum with the famous line, life finds a way. Nothing so, I just did it then. Nothing so interesting as that. It is something I am going to have to train myself out of. I really didn't realize I was doing it. I thought I was quite good at not doing it. And I listened to half a dozen of these streams and recordings I'd done as I was converting them to audio. And my God, I go and ah all the goddamn time in most sentences, in these things, close to I felt like close to every sentence had me going and ah. So this is an experiment like I just did it then. The instant, but in my defense, I was looking at something else which made my mind wander. That's not really an excuse. I was going to do a live stream with Eva earlier this afternoon, but I didn't have a viable alternative. Now I do, but the time passed us by, and I did message Eva and say I'd be ready to do it in the future. And her response was, I got stoned and watched the Power Rangers movie. And she says, that is surprisingly not awful, which is good to know. Very good to know. I think she means the most recent version. Dr. Barbara, I'm up for season 15 of the blog. I am assuming that is sarcasm, Dr. Obama. Okay, here we go. How long till we can make it break down? I think it only easily lets 3 people on there. Okay, so rather than let the forces of chaos have their way with us, I'm going to say, if you follow me on the socials, Twitter and or Facebook, go and send me a message, and I'll send you a link to join the stream. And we might take turns with who is in the stream. I've got to stop looking at other things because that really triggers the ums and ahs. No, you didn't like the Power Ranger suits and mechs. I admit I haven't seen it. Ooh, what was that? Ah, Aussie Gun Bunny. All right. Now, this is supposed to be really easy. There's a little tab here that says invite. Gives me a link. Do that, and I'm going to DM it to Aussie Gun Bunny. Here we go. Where are we? All right. And now we'll see if he comes in. Okay. No, go away. Go away, silly thing. Okay. Ready to go. Misfoxication is against terms of service to advertise other video services. I'm not sure what you mean there. Misfoxication. Okay.
Here we go.
Look. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, so we've got, okay, so there's 2 of us, Angry Aussie and Aussie Gun Bunny, Angry Aussie Gun Bunny Show. So see, that works. That was easy. Like, oh my God, I can do this in the future. Oh, I see where you misunderstood me, Miss Foxification. I wasn't inviting anyone to Twitch. I was just telling people to message me so I could DM them the link to come in here. So, yes, you just need to send me a message on the old social medias if you are at all interested in joining on the stream. What, Aussie Gun Bunny, what have you been up to today, my friend?
Oh, mate, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Sat around doing nothing. I'm on holidays at the moment, so.
Yeah, well, honestly, that was my day. There was a couple of There's probably a couple of hours of frustration trying to get something like this working. Lo and behold, now it works. Fox has sent me a link. Fox has sent me a request. Let me see if I can find where that went. Well, you sent it to the Angry Aussie page, Fox. I'm just Facebook. I am not the world's biggest fan of, quite honestly. It's not telling me that it's come through yet. But then again, messages on Facebook are not the greatest, in my opinion. But I should say there's not that many people here, and there's no. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to post it in the chat here, and it doesn't matter. Like when I talked to Aussie Gun Bunny about this earlier, we think, "Oh, watch out for trolls," but they can't come in. There's a secondary thing when you basically request to come in on the link. There's a secondary thing that I have to say okay to. So I just realised. Let me. All right, momentarily. That's the easy way. There you go. Now that link that I just put in the chat, if you want to come in and join us in the chat, click on that, and I'll see if I'm feeling like a magnanimous dictator. I'll let you in the chat.
See how quickly we can destroy the live stream by
Yeah,
overloading the server.
yeah. Australia's internet and the StreamYard servers generally. I mean, well, what are they even? Do they like having this sort of thing happen? I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking at there's little icons here for doing various things, and they only go up to 3 faces on the icon, so I don't know if more than 3 people can come in. Oh, there we go. Fox of Fate. Oh, look, there's 3 of us. I think Fox is on a mobile phone, the way that's bouncing around.
Yep.
Yeah, my tablet, because no webcam on my computer.
Cool.
My mic does not work on my computer.
All right, that's fair. I'm just going to try. That's what these things meant. Oh, look, now I can shrink you, but we'll do that. Then we're all equal. This is. I think there are other controls. What does this one do? Oh, look, that does that. Oh, so this is probably if even more people come in. I'll use this one. Okay.
Yeah, that would be.
I believe up to 6 people. I believe you can get
what's this one? That's you over there. That's you. All right. Let's do this for now.
It's going to look horrible.
This is fun. No, don't let the power corrupt me. I was already corrupt. I'm getting vertigo the way Fox is bouncing around.
Because I'm holding my tablet.
I'm still thinking, this looks like an evening of Fox News. What are the questions of the day? What are these minorities doing? 3 white guys give you their opinions. Let's solve problems for women and minorities now. What's wrong with them? But I mean, I'm making a joke, but they literally do that. And I don't know why I'm picking on Fox News. Sunrise in Australia does this. Oh, is the Uluru ban good or bad? Here's 6 white people to tell you.
I'd say all of Channel 7 News.
Trying to figure out what I'm doing.
We're attracting attention in your house, Gun Honey.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I did note, like, I watched the StreamYard tutorial. They've got a whole video tutorial series I watched today, which the founders of the company make, and they are in fact children. So, I mean, I don't know, they're probably in their 20s, but they just reminded me of my kids.
Compared to you, everyone's a child.
It was just like when you watch company founders with this fantastic new thing I found, like, these guys are clever. Oh my God, they're kids. I just looked at it and they were just kids. There you go. Fox has got a stand happening now. Yes, victory.
Kind of. Close enough. Now I can actually get back to gaming and chatting.
Oh, but this is fun. I mean, could you imagine the fun you could have with just like this would be like those ridiculous things. I don't know. I don't watch the Australian commercial TV much. In fact, often don't watch that many of the news programs because they aggravate me. But I always see those American ones. Oh, Fox dropped out.
Dropped off.
I always see those American ones where they have, 4 to 8 people and they all just like shout over each other and all sorts of shenanigans. But anyways, they have heaps of features. Like you can see there's the little watermark. This was not a mirror. It isn't a mirror. It's the opposite of a mirror. Like this finger is pointing in the opposite. So I have to go, no, it's that one. Yeah. I see company. That's the StreamYard watermark. If I if I pay a premium, I can get rid of that. This Foxification. Just a kiss. Sorry, and I can't resist trolling like that. Okay, so there's audio. We've got different volumes audio apparently, Gun Bunny. Fox is coming back. There we go.
Okay.
So I can't see the chat either, so I can't see. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually what I was trying to find. The chat on Facebook, so I could watch it.
Yeah, if you found the video on YouTube, the chat should be happening there. You should be able to follow.
Yeah.
But from within the actual stream studio thing, you don't see it.
No. Hey, how's Aidsy been?
Well, he's still kicking. I was talking to him today. Is
he slightly less dead than normal?
Well, it's hard to say. Like, he's still moving around. He's still enthusiastic about things, but he's going through with these problems he has with chronic pain. He doesn't sleep, and so that after a couple of days of not sleeping properly, if at all, the brain fog sets in, and he's just trying to keep things happening. So there are challenges. He was going, like, he kind of volunteered to come over this afternoon, but I was actually in the middle of shit going wrong and I was in a really bad mood, so I said, don't come over, I'm in a really bad mood. So that didn't happen, but we, he will hopefully be back over soon. As we had a Japanese exchange student staying with us. She only left on the weekend, so that's why I haven't been posting video, even though I did a live stream on Thursday night. I kind of was going to do TFU on Friday or Saturday, but we had this Japanese exchange student, and I thought if I started shouting and swearing in one of the rooms of the house, it might freak her out.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a shock for someone who's not used to it.
Yeah, so I thought I'd spare her that. So I'll try and get back into the normal stuff this week. I mean, having had this bit of fun and finding this works, what else could I wish for? Now, I was just looking at things. I wonder how that works. There's a private chat function, and I don't know how that works. That's okay. I'll work it out later. I can do shared screen, I can do banners, and if I pay them money, I can do personalized branding. So I'll give it a while. I'll use this for a couple of weeks. This is a first go. Is really good though. I'm pretty happy with this. So I think we can maybe do this. I don't know. Maybe at least on the semi-regular. Maybe semi-regular. Maybe every now and then. Do guests just drop it in? But I mainly wanted to do it tomorrow just to test it. So thank you, lads, for helping me test the whole thing.
Yes, no problem.
But yeah,
This is definitely be good for Eve and all that. So.
Yeah, I think this is looking very promising. And now that I've seen it's relatively easy to get multiple people in, because Eva and I had been talking about some other people that one or both of us knows who could be good on a chat as well. Now, some of them live in Melbourne and some of them might actually come to my place, which would make it easier. But if they're either not in Melbourne or can't come close, oh, Caleb wants to come in. Go, here we go. Now we're getting difficult. Yes. Caleb's in too. I'm going to get rid of the banner.
What's up, guys?
Nice.
Hey.
What's up, guys? Hope we're going well.
Yep. It looks like I'm not the youngest one in the group now.
There we go. Caleb and I actually, this is one of the weird things. Caleb and I like actually know each other, have actually physically hung out in the same space.
That's VidCon,
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, so it's a very like other people like I've just known through YouTube or the other social medias, and so it seemed very familiar to me. Yeah, but Caleb falls into the subset people I've actually met.
Yeah, that's true.
What have you been up to, Caleb?
I've been doing nothing much. Today was a very slow day because usually on the weekends, because like you guys know, I'm still a school student at school all week. And usually on the weekends, I try to film some YouTube videos and that so I can publish them throughout the week. But it's like, for the past 3 or 4 days, I've been pretty sick. So it's like I haven't been able to publish much content. Today, I've actually mostly been in bed. I've been sick. I'm definitely getting a lot better today, but nothing much today.
Good to take it easy. I like that. Miss Fox Vacations called us the Angry Bunch with all these little screens coming. That seems appropriate.
It's about right. It's about right.
So CrossFitter has a joke. StreamYard reminds me of an old joke. Used to work for Cunard, now I look for StreamYard. I'm sorry, that one actually went over my head. I know Cunard is a passenger cruise ships. StreamYard. No, it's going over my head. Does anyone else get the reference?
No.
Don't get that.
I think he's making a joke because of the thing we're using, StreamYard. But
yes, but CrossFit is not making it up off the cuff. Said that actually reminded them of an old joke.
oh, okay.
Or I'm just thinking I'm missing something. That's the other possibility we need to take into account. I could just be thick. Which is a CrossFitter? Am I missing a reference or am I just thick? No, what's the limit on StreamYard? I don't know. Do you want to see how we go with one more?
I think it's 6. I think the limit is 6.
All right, 6. For Cunard is fucking hard. Okay. Oh, right. No, so the original version of the joke was, I used to work for Cunard, now I just work fucking hard. And StreamYard made you think of it. That's actually a good joke. I like that. And I'm glad it's not a case of I'm thick, I just didn't know the original joke. So, oh no, that reminded me of an awful joke with a guy who's not real bright, who gets a job working at the craft factory. And he's so excited because it's his first job. His first job he's ever had. And he's walking down the street and a priest says, "You look happy, my son." He goes, "I am happy. I got my first ever job, and it's just great. And he says to the priest, who do you work for? And the priest laughs and says, oh, my son, I work for the Lord Jesus. And the bloke goes, whoa, fancy the chances. I'm your competition. And the priest going, what? Who do you work for? He goes, I work for Kraft cheeses. When you're a Catholic, that's a funny joke. We used to tell that joke at Catholic school. I thought it was hilarious. Because the suggestion is you work for the devil or whatever, but maybe Kraft cheeses are the devil. I don't know.
There we go.
So I just looked on the FAQ for StreamYard. Very first question: how many people can I have? 6 in the stream, and 10 can enter the broadcast studio, so it can swap in and out.
Oh yeah, Miss Foxification did the same lookup. There you go. Noog, you don't have a camera on, Noog. Are you there, Noog?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, nice to be on stream for once.
All right, you're very faint.
Might need to turn them up. Yeah.
Don't know if you have the volume control. I have also learned it defers to me. If I talk, everyone else gets silenced, which is good for my totalitarian mindset.
Well, you are the host, so you should have all the power.
Yes, all the power to me. That's only fair. So what time is it where you are, Noog?
Yeah, it's around 11:30.
AM?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because
Wow.
Fox, you're in Australia, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the rest of us are all in Australia. So we're all same time zone. So
Well, it's probably about time you got some more international people in.
it is. We need to broaden the horizons. I have to admit that was one of the back in the early days of the internet, like in the 90s, just on text chat. That was the thing that really blew my mind. It was in like an IRC chat room, and there were people from Australia, England, America, Germany, South Africa. It's just like with only about 20 or 30 people, you were representing a dozen countries. And it absolutely blew my mind that you could do that. And these days, you just tell that to the kids, and they're like, yeah, okay, Grandpa. That's like...
The internet is just witchcraft.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because these days, of course, with the online gaming for the younger generation has become a social network, basically. That's what old people like me don't get. Why are they so into the Fortnite? They're not just playing the game in Fortnite. It's a social network for them as well.
Well, to be honest, I do not like Fortnite. So cut me out of that.
I hate online games generally, I admit.
It's the modern day version of going down to the bowls club of a Saturday night.
That's what this is. We're in the bolo, yeah. Oh, Miss Foxification's saying that Fortnite is a lot more interactive in VR, and apparently it's popular to play Fortnite in VR, and that makes it even more interactive.
This is the first time I've VR.
That's odd.
I've not done a lot of VR, but I did one afternoon, and of course I gravitated straight to the zombie games and whatnot. And it wasn't so much, but I had friends who thought they were hilarious, like they would physically grab me when something attacked me in the game, because I couldn't tell they were there. And but what was weird to me is when I took the VR helmet off, the real world seemed really strange. It took a weird amount of time to adjust to the real world after having the VR helmet on for 15, 20 minutes. Miss Foxification. Oh, sorry. I misinterpreted what Miss Foxification was saying. You meant that the feeling of meeting so many people from around the world at once in VR. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Oh, yes. CrossFitter. No, saying, sorry, no. CrossFit has pointed out again, you are quite hard to hear. I don't know if you can up your volume at all.
Yeah.
Sorting it out right now.
Sorting it out. Good man. Good man. So, well, what's everyone been watching? Oh my God, there's this weird little series. I'll lead with what I've been watching. There's this weird little series on Netflix. It's English. It's about a Muslim guy from Birmingham. It's called Man Like Mabeen. It's really funny. But they're so cheeky. Their idea of a season is 4 20-minute episodes. That's it. Season 2 just came out. Season 1 was 4 20-minute episodes.
Wow.
And season 2 just came out, which is also 4 20-minute episodes. And that's it. But it's funny. Just this Brummy Muslim guy and his friends who are kind of all idiots. It's quite entertaining. What's everyone else been watching?
I've been watching Suits again.
Well, I have seen all the boys. I actually quite enjoyed that.
I've got to get Prime Video so I can watch The Boys. I've finally decided because I looked at what's on Prime Video and there's about a series I really want to watch. The Boys among them. So I think I'll have to get Prime Video soon.
You definitely need to. If not for American Gods, then definitely for The Boys.
Yeah, I want to watch, like, there was American Gods, The Boys, Good Omens. Trying to remember what the other ones were, but I just clicked through it and it was like, well, there's like 6 that I'm more than casually interested in, like I was really keen for. I got Miss Fox on occasion watched Scientology and The Prison of Belief. I think I watched that. I've watched a few Scientology docs. They're all a bit bleak. Has someone got a dog? Oh no, it's a young'un.
Nah, that's my 2-year-old that's just getting up out of bed and should be in bed right now. What are you doing, Missy? In the bed. I will be back in a minute.
Yep, I've been there, done that. I know what that situation's like.
Yeah. All right, won't be long.
Got to look after things on the home front. I understand completely.
Won't be long.
Geez, I tell you what worked for me recently. Asking on social media what podcasts people were looking at, and I got some really good recommendations. I don't know if anyone else is into podcasts because I didn't have that many I was listening to, but I got a few good recommendations.
Well, I did encounter the problem of too much podcast content, too little time.
I understand that. No, definitely. I only found seriously one I really liked was the Blind Boy podcast, and there was some others that I'd listened to casually, but a few people gave me Musical Aviator. There we go. There we go. It's open season on jumping into the chat.
Sure is.
Yeah, let me just come on the camera.
Oh, there we go. You're on cam now. Nice. Good to see you, man. So, you got too many podcasts, Noog. What's one you like?
There's a podcast called Double Toasted. It's by some American critics from Texas. They've been doing this for a long time. They started out in the 90s on a cable access show.
I'm back.
They used to have a website called spill.com. That went under, so they brought it back as Double Toasted.
Okay, cool. Cool. I tell you, one people referred me to that I'm really getting into because there's got lots of episodes. It's called Behind the Bastards. Does anyone know that one?
I've heard it quite a bit.
There's a guy, I think he's a journalist writer, and he does a lot of research. Basically, researches the worst people in history and tells you stories you might not know about them. It's like instead of behind the music, it's behind the bastards. And they're really engrossing. Like he gets a guest in who's like a comedian and just tells them stories that he's researched. It's quite fascinating because he covers a real breadth of topics.
Well, he isn't going to run out of subjects, really.
You're right. There's a lot of bastards. There really are a lot of bastards. Oh, Ms. Voxification, you got new headphones. Oh, okay, you can't enter the chat because you're sick and coughing. That's very noble of you. But what else? This will probably sound weird that I got into this one, but because I'm on like iTunes, the Apple Store, and they show you related podcasts when you listen to. And there was one, I forget which one it was related to. It might have been Behind the Bastards, but I was going through a list. And there's one called Girl to Girl, and it was, the ladies talking about things and chatting. And it is, maybe I'm being voyeuristic because it sounded like girls' night out kind of talk. They're comedians. They're very funny. They're very good. But it's like, girl talk. And I'm like, cool, I never get invited into girl talk. I feel like I'm getting secrets now. Does that sound creepy that I want to listen to girl talk?
Not really.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's definitely borderline.
Yeah,
Depends on if you're doing it purposefully on other things.
they put it on a podcast. But it felt like eavesdropping. It was like, ooh. Yeah. They put it on the podcast, so it's not before. What else was there? It was Behind the Bastards. I still like to listen occasionally to what are they called? Chapo Trap House, the Dirtbag Left. It's just very funny to me to hear Americans who are really committed to the ideas of like socialism and workers' revolution type stuff, but they're also really sort of non-PC and foul-mouthed and whatnot. They're not precious at all. I don't agree with everything they say, but yeah, I agree, Justin. Putting faces to names. Today, I know. Well, I'm friends with Aussie Gun Bunny on Facebook, so I knew what he looked like. But in terms of video as opposed to photos, this is the first time I've had all these fine folks to chat, which is nice. I think I'm going to have to do this. Yes, it's fantastic. I'm going to have to do this at least semi-regularly because this is quite fun having people in the chat. Or maybe I'll dedicate. It'll be like the 15 minutes of everyone stick your head on the screen and tell the world what you think of things to spice things up. I hope I'll be on this week. Mrs. Angry says she's getting sick, and if she gets sick, it's almost inevitable that I get sick. So I'm hoping that maybe it's a false alarm. Oh, we've got another podcast recommendation. Soch, Utah Outcasts. Oh, they're ex-Mormons who are now atheists. Of course they'd be Utah Outcasts. Yes. CrossFitter should... Sorry, Nick?
No, there's another podcast I listen to called Podquisition. It's run by a guy called Jim Sterling.
I know Jim Sterling.
Yeah, it's really just him, Laura Keating, and Gavin Dunn from Miracle of Sound. They really just shoot the shit about video games and all that other stuff. It's quite a lot shorter than the normal podcasts I listen to.
I like Jim Sterling's writing, so his podcast could be good. That's a good recommendation.
Well, he also does another podcast.
There's another one I've been listening to recently called Philosophize This, and goes through all the history of philosophy, starting from the pre-Socratic period all the way through Western and Eastern philosophies, and he does it in a way where it's not too dense. Like it really flows very, very quickly, and you learn not everything about everyone, but enough to be able to go, okay, this is interesting. This might be something I want to learn more about.
Good. Enough info that you can throw in 2 cents at dinner party conversation. Sounds good. CrossFitter wants me to let a troll on one time. You know what? Honestly, if I got one of those trolls, if they go on camera, I'm not just letting someone do it without owning it. if I reckon if one of them actually had a camera and said they wanted to come on, I'd give them the up until they're boring thing. It's like, because they've got this big thing that like, oh, you just don't listen to anyone you disagree with. Go, no, I'll listen to someone who I disagree with. It's just when you get boring and talk shit, I'm not wasting any more time. Although that would obviously be dangerous because they could try and get me banned by suddenly putting porn on this. Yeah, that's actually probably a super bad idea. See, you got to think things through.
It's not even. I mean, we've disagreed about stuff before, but when we do disagree, we do it in a in a friendly way. There's a right way to disagree about stuff and a wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the guys who I've had one of the closest online associations ever for like the last 8 years, Frankie the Skin, who doesn't get in the chat that often because of the time difference between here and London. It's very inconvenient, but sometimes in his early morning at work, he'll come on. Yeah, he's a old school Tory. He's a big fan of Margaret Thatcher and whatnot, and I'm anything but that. But he's not an obnoxious jerk. He's not a bigot. He's very much an active anti-racist. But he's a conservative. He's a Tory, like loves Margaret Thatcher. I'm like, cool, I really don't. But that's fine. You can have a disagreement. It's just when someone is obnoxious or boring. I hate boring. It's just like they repeat the same talking points that you get on every comment section, on every bulletin, and it's like, oh, dude, I've just heard that 100 times before. There's nothing behind what you're saying. It's just such crap.
Yeah, it's like that. I've seen
I've got
thousands of times on Reddit, and it's never funny the first time. It's not funny the 10 millionth time.
Exactly, but they don't get bored with doing it because they just go around trolling everything, everyone they can think of, and it's always the same shit. Like one of their memes that was unintentionally hilarious was the NPC meme, because these 4chan dicks were arguing that, people on the left, you can't actually interact with them. They only say a set series of things like NPCs in a video game. And so they proceeded to make that same joke everywhere over and over again. You go, guys, your way to say you can't engage with the left because they just say the same meaningless thing over and over again is you're going around saying the same meaningless thing over and over again. It's like, what?
I don't think they ever
Yeah.
Aussie CrossFit is saying it also disagrees with a bunch of things I say, but at least I own it. And I do try to be entertaining. That's the one thing, the people who won't even stand behind their shit. I mean, I say obnoxious stuff from time to time, but I'm going to stand behind it. I associate. You look like the person you tried to put to bed really hasn't gone to bed, Gun Money.
I'm watching it. We got to Ravenclaw Cavaliers, and they chew everything. So we've got them in this cage when it's bedtime, and she's feeding stuff into the cage, and she threw in a little clock thing in there before, and I'm like, oh God, please don't chew on the batteries. It's the last thing I need to rush a bloody dog to the vet.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah, no, batteries are a bit of a worry, definitely. Yes. Oh, I like that phrase, Miss Foxification. I stand by my shit, they stand in their shit. That's and it stays in their nappies, I think. It's all
their mouth.
Yeah. They do the reverse thing, where like Cartman on South Park, we assume they're sticking food up their butt because shit comes out their mouth. But it's weird, like every now and then I have the temptation, because there are so many videos of these right-wing trolls sort of attacking me personally, and I don't think I've ever watched more than a minute of any of them before going, oh, this guy's boring. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to inflict this on myself. Every now and then I feel like, maybe it'd be fun to whip up drama if I actually just went some of them. But then it's like, oh, God, no. They're boring enough already. If I actually poached them.
Could you imagine if you got that Bernstein guy, whatever the hell his name is, on here?
It's just, I don't know that I don't have trouble keeping up with them because it's actually weird how many of them are who seem to obsess about me. And when someone brings up, oh, such and such owned you, it's like, such and such is fucking nobody I know exists. I have no idea. You know, let's be honest, it's probably sexual. Their fixation is probably sexual. Who could blame them? Eh? Who doesn't want all this? Yeah.
Yeah, secret admirers.
Yeah, except they're not very secret, no. They're out in although they don't show their faces. That's the big one. They don't show their faces. It's very rare. Normally, if they've been around for a while, like, you know, sad fuck of arse hats eventually went public with who he actually was. But most of them don't show their face while they're doing all their bigoted trolling, because it's as if they know the overwhelming majority of people won't stand for that shit. And if people knew who they were, it would affect them socially. That people went, oh no, you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they also do this weird thing where they go like, when I say, well, no, that person was actively preaching hate, genocide, whatever, they deserve to be shut down. And they go, oh, they'll come for you. How do you like it when you're shut down? I say, dude, I'm not preaching violence. I'm not preaching hate. I mean, I jokingly talk about guillotining billionaires, but if anyone thinks I literally mean I'm going to set up a guillotine, then they're onto my secret plan. Oh no! But you know, I kind of love how the current generation has got into guillotines. When I were young, the saying was, when the revolution comes, you'll be first against the wall. And but they're not even firing squads these days. Everyone wants to go classical and bring guillotines back. There's a certain artisan sort of quality to wanting to use guillotines as the execution method, which, you know, it's a bit classy.
Well, it's the big thing of the French Revolution, so it kind of makes sense that they thought about that.
Was it that the guy that on the History of Everything said? The guy who said, let's cut all their heads off, and he kept on cutting everyone's head off until somebody turned around and said, let's cut his head off.
Yeah, that Robespierre who, because that is what happened. Yeah, the guy who'd been organising the terror ended up on the receiving end of it. It's like when you're chopping off so many heads, people get really into it and want to chop off another head. I think. Oh yeah, misfoxification pointing out, of course, the big news. There was the mass shooting in Texas, but there was another one only a couple of hours later in Ohio, which is depressing AF.
Yeah, 10 people died last time I looked at the news. Not good.
No, I don't put any emotional effort into dealing with that anymore. People say, oh, it's so upsetting. And I'm like, fuck it. The solution, or at least the start of a solution, is obvious. It's like, is it all going to take away against? No, how about rational approach to gun ownership? Like, hey, maybe the same degree of control you have of cars, you know, needing a license, needing training. You're going to filter out a bunch of dickheads if you're required to do basic training and show your competence. And to wait for a while. Like, I know when you first decide you want one, you can't just have a gun and walk away. It's like, okay, you're signing up for an education course, you're going to be assessed, and then you got a probationary gun license where you can have certain things. And when we prove competence, you'll be allowed more. That's not perfect. People, very experienced car drivers, do dumb shit and kill people on the road. So, yeah, no matter what you put in place with guns, there would be unfortunate deaths. But, if you could just do it, so you said, well, we took steps. We trusted competent people. We didn't disadvantage competent people, and we put a few fucking hurdles in place for nut jobs and bad people. You can't stop bad people. You can't stop bad people. There are always bad people who will always do bad things. But Jesus, you could at least put some speed bumps in their way.
Even something as simple as compulsory gun safes, so that kids can't pick up a gun and accidentally shoot themselves with it. Simple things like that.
The amount of accidental shootings. I mean, that was the weirdest statistic that you found out. Like, you get the paranoia about Islamic terrorists in attacking America. In the last 5 years, you have been more likely to be shot by a toddler with a gun than an Islamic terrorist with a gun. There's been dozens of cases of, like Gun Money says, kids picking up guns and discharging them, and in multiple cases killing people. In a lot of other cases, injuring people without killing them. But what the fuck? When you've actually got to look at that statistic and go, oh, more likely to be shot by a toddler than by an Islamic terrorist. Like, what the fuck? Okay.
America's just problem after problem after problem.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll be honest, there is a cultural thing going on as well. There's a cultural thing in the US that I feel doesn't exist in the same way anywhere else in the world. And that's a whole different issue. But if there was at least some common sense.
I mean, there's plenty of people here in Australia that love guns. I mean, I'm ex-military, as you know. I like guns. I like going out to the range and shooting and stuff like that. But it's not to the same extent as what we have in America. Definitely. Although, if the NRA has been
I'll be honest, I think guns are cool. Because it's possibly because I grew up in the country. I used to go target shooting. I haven't for a very long time, but I'll definitely say guns are cool. If I went to America, I would probably go to a shooting range and just shoot up with some stupid overpowered gun because I could. I honestly would probably do that. I'm a shameless hypocrite, but so. CrossFitter raises an interesting thing. With the guy in Texas who did the shooting in El Paso, didn't get shot by a bystander when you do have all the open carry and concealed carry laws in Texas. And in fact, one of the people who's been praised in it is a serviceman. I'm not sure if he's current or ex-service, and he had a gun because he has a carry license. But he didn't shoot the guy. He said he pulled the gun out and he's looking for trouble, but then he saw some kids in all the panic. They were in a playground, had been left behind by the parents, and he just went and grabbed kids and was picking them up and carrying them out of the mall. And as people say, he didn't do anything dumb. He could have, he had a gun, but he just went, wait, there's some innocents who need to be protected. And he took the time to grab them and carry them out. So that was interesting to me and it's probably not surprising, he was a serviceman. He was trained to deal with things. He's going, I could go off and be Rambo, or here's some immediate people, children in danger. I will take them away from danger rather than play any fucking hero fantasy out.
Yeah, I heard that one. He's also quoted as saying that he didn't want the cops to be confused as to whether he was the shooter or not. He knew that if he had his gun out, he'd be in danger from the cops, even though he was the good guy with the gun.
Oh, yeah, black man with a gun in a hostile situation. That's not something you want to be. It's like,
or anyone,
geez.
you know, if you pull out a gun in that situation, they're going to shoot first and ask questions later. It's as simple as that. And they have to. That's just as simple as that.
In an active shooter situation, fuck yeah. It's like, right. Although there was famously, back when these shootings only happened once a fucking decade, there was one that happened. I think it was in a Texas university. A guy went to there was a university had like a high tower in it, and I think he killed his mother just before doing this. And he went up into this tower and was shooting people down on the ground. And because he was up in this tower, it was very hard to get him. And the cops were trying to, and then all the locals started showing up with their hunting rifles, and the cops are looking around going, holy fuck, their guns are better than ours. It's like the cops just had like handguns and stuff. They didn't have assault weapons. And the local Texan hunters just coming in with these big old hunting rifles, and they're keeping the guy pinned down because if he picks up, they're just taking pot shots at him with these big hunting rifles. And the cops were like, God damn, their guns are better than ours. CrossFit, your dad's still dark on John Howard for taking away his semi-auto 22.
I will be back in a second.
Yeah. All right. A few temporary departures. I don't, because we had some. For those who know Australian gun history, there's the Lithgow Small Arms Factory, which was set up to make weapons in World War II. And we had a couple of 22 caliber rifles that were from Lithgow. And they were kind of a piece of history. But, you know, they got turned in. Because they were just sitting on a gun rack, but I don't think, well, the ammunition was nowhere near them. They weren't locked up. So we had these in my house. We did have rifles just sitting on a gun rack, but the bullets were no. I actually think my dad took the bolts out of them as well, so they couldn't be easily used. He did something. It was the firing pin or the entire, because they were bolt action 22s, which I always felt was a kind of cool, made me feel like, you know, I was in an old war movie or something. And I'm pretty sure my dad took the whole bolt out. But we had slug guns. Slug guns were fun. They were the cousin of the ball bearing rifle. You'd have these little lead slugs that were just fired out by compressed air and cause a little bit of havoc with sparrows with them. That was about you'd be hard pressed to even break skin on a person if you shot them with a slug gun. But you play havoc. I know my brother did occasionally misbehave and like shoot at sparrows with the slug gun. That's life in the country.
Yeah.
But we're back. But I had to get a bevy. That's fair.
Yeah, it is 9 o'clock. It's half time.
Half time, yeah, and I finished my fruit juice too. So I got to go to work tomorrow. Do I really want to make a drink on a Sunday night? I got a couple of exotic ones. I've got exotic South American beverages now. I got pisco, which is a Peruvian drink. It's basically a rum. And just this week I got, what's it called? Cachaça. That's probably my favorite name for an alcoholic beverage I've ever heard. Cachaça. Because it stays easy to pronounce if you're really drunk. Because you can always manage to say cachaça. Cachaça, please. Ads thinks I should do shots. You're a bad, 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 bad man, Ads. Oh, okay, you've started it. Now Bex has popped up going, shots. No, I probably wouldn't do that on a Friday or Saturday night. I'm definitely not doing it on a Sunday night. I'm going to go to work tomorrow. And
You don't like drinking
I just
Sunday
wanted to
coffee
think,
anyway.
every now and then it's like, do I hate my boss? Technically, I'm my boss because I'm a contractor. So I've always made those jokes in the past about my boss being a bastard. Not just that, he puts porn on my computer and touches me. If people don't know I'm referring to myself, that gets really worrying. That's the joys of being self-employed. But because I'm contracting, I'm actually doing something for someone else. But I never talk. Yeah, I'll talk about. It's like I don't actually have to go back far in time to think of a colossal dickhead of a boss. But the funniest ones to me have always been. I think I've talked before in live streams about the concept of imposter syndrome. It isn't really like a diagnosable condition. It's just how you feel. It's like, oh, I don't deserve what I've got. I'm faking it. People will find out I'm faking it. And because I'm working in a professional environment, I sometimes struggle with it. Like, oh God, everyone's relying on me to do all these things, and it's like I'm a great big fake, and they'll find me out. And then every now and then on jobs, I'll spend one day fighting with imposter syndrome, and then the next day is looking at other people going, oh, they're all fucking morons. I'm the smartest person here. Holy crap.
Misclassification just made a joke in chat. I was going to make it too.
My boss keeps sleeping with my wife. That is another problem I am going to have to, I don't know, go to industrial relations about. Oh, Musical Aviator dropped out. Is come back? No? Yes? No? I don't know. I think Musical Aviator is having connection problems. I could make...
I think I'm going to have to get going.
And CrossFitter was going to make that joke too, apparently.
Everyone's coming up. So yeah, actually, look, given that it's a Sunday night, and I might dip out, thank you all for helping me with the testing out the live chat. Definitely works. Okay, so I'll have to do this at least semi-regularly because this is kind of fun. But it works and it's easy. I'm so happy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I used to think I was so pissed. Like I was getting borderline depressed earlier today. Like, no one works. I can't make anything work. It's all terrible. But now it works. It's like, yeah.
Excellent.
So, and I just like that we can have little captions and I can put a banner. So I'm going to experiment with this one. If after a couple of weeks I'm convinced this is the platform for me, because this goes straight to YouTube, which is great. So if after a couple of weeks I'm convinced this is the platform for me, I will probably get their premium one, which is going to let me do all branding and stuff like that, which would be a bit fun. So yeah, fancy. I get all fancy. So thank you.
Removing that.
Yeah, remove the duck. Well, I don't mind the duck. The duck looks kind of interesting, quite honestly. But yes, I can have my own icon. I can have my own icon in place of the duck. But yeah, so thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for everyone who helped me test. And I'll catch you fine folk. Oh, yeah. I don't even know where to make my hand. There's my hand. Yeah. So thank you all for hanging out. Yes, live streams are the best. I'll be doing one again soon. All things being equal, Tuesday night, I'll probably do another live stream. So I'll see you all probably then. And because I haven't made any pre-recorded videos since, God, last Monday, I might make one tomorrow night as well, if I'm feeling so motivated. But thanks, one and all. And I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.